In this video, we're going to expand on the distributive property law that we looked at yesterday and look at longer expressions which have two sets of distributive property. So if you look at the first example, you have one set of distributive property here with one monomial being multiplied with this polynomial, and then you have another set with this monomial being multiplied by this polynomial. So what you're going to do is use the distributive property twice. So first of all, you're going to take the first term on the outside and multiply it with everything in the brackets of the first polynomial. You stop as soon as you get to the bracket. What you want to remember is when there is no exponent showing, the exponent is 1. So when you take 3x and multiply it by 5x squared, remember you multiply the coefficients. 3 times 5 is 15, and add the exponents on the x's. 1 plus 2 is 3. When you take the 3x and multiply it by the second term, negative x, you also want to remember that that coefficient is negative 1. So multiply the coefficients. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Add the exponents on the x. 1 plus 1 is 2. Once the bracket is finished, you no longer multiply with the 3x. Now you're going to multiply with the negative 2x squared. So when you multiply that with the 4x with an exponent of 1, the coefficients, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and the exponents, you add them on the x's. 2 plus 1 is 3. For the second term, when you multiply the coefficients, negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. There is no exponent on the negative 3, so you just have x squared. The next thing you're going to do is to collect like terms. So 15x cubed minus 8x cubed is 7x cubed, and negative 3x squared plus 6x squared is positive 3x squared. Those two terms do not get added because they are not like terms. Now in the second example, you also have two sets of distributive law, but you've got one set inside the other set. So the first thing you're going to do is the distributive law that is inside the bracket. So you're going to leave the 3x there, and on the inside, the 2 will get multiplied with the 5x. So 2 times 5 is 10, and there's no x on the 2, so you just have an x. And when you multiply the second, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Now, we do not multiply the 2 with the negative 6x, because as soon as you see a bracket, you stop the distributive law. So that negative 6x is just left there at the end. Then you're going to collect like terms. So the like terms are negative 2 and negative 6. So negative 2 subtract 6 is negative 8. Now comes your second set of distributive law. Remember that these have an exponent of 1. So 3x times 10x. So the coefficients, 3 times 10 is 30. For the exponents, 1 plus 1 is 2. And then 3x times negative 8. coefficients. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And the first term has an x, the second term doesn't have any, so it's just 30x squared minus 24x. And those are not like terms, so you do not add them. So what you might have is a case of side-by-side distributive law or one distributive law inside of another. So you're going to use the distributive law from 2.4, which was last lesson, to remove each set of brackets. Then you're going to collect like terms. If the brackets are nested, which is the second example, you use the distributive property on the inside brackets first, and then use the distributive property on the outside brackets.